What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. A lot of people have been asking me my opinion on Dennis Wolf, and I'm not really sure why, but the question getting asked is, do I think Dennis Wolf is all done? And what do I think of how we looked at the Arnold and now the Arnold Australia? And first of all, I just kind of want to step back and say what Dennis has done, okay, to bring his physique back to where it is right now is pretty awesome, okay? So let's just get that out of the way right now. Dennis had an injury, and I don't remember exactly how he got the injury. I believe it was a neck injury, and he had to have surgery, and it was like a nerve pinched, or it wasn't severed, I think it was pinched, and there was like a vertebrae he had to have surgery on, and I wasn't really paying too attention as to what was going on. I just knew it was an injury, and it could have been a very well career-ending injury, and as well as a life-changing injury, which I think it was life-changing anyways, despite the fact that he's back and he's healing up, etc. And I just said, well, you know what, we're going to kind of see what develops with this. I'm not going to really keep tabs on it because no matter what, if he comes back, I'm not going to have to dig for information. It's all going to be there. Like, people are going to follow it. They're going to ask about it. It's going to be all over the internet. It's exactly what happened. When Dennis announced that he was coming back, the first thing I noticed in a shirt in general, he looked a lot smaller, upper body-wise. And I'm thinking, you could see his face was really lean. I'm thinking, like, he's getting really lean. But normally he looks a lot bigger when he's getting ready for a show. And my fear was he would actually get on stage looking nothing. And I mean nothing like he used to. And completely, rush the whole recovery and get up there and just look like an asshole. And that's not what happened. Now, he wasn't the Dennis Wolf, I almost said Dennis fucking Newman, the Dennis Wolf of old. Some of you may not even know who Dennis Newman is, Superhuman Newman. But when he got on stage, I noticed that he just didn't have the mass in his shoulders and arms, like his upper body in general. He was still wide as fuck. His arms weren't as big, but he was really conditioned still, right? His conditioning was there, and his legs looked just as good as ever. Like, the separation was there. They were flaring. They were big. I was like, fuck. So here's the deal. With an injury like what happened to him, and I'm sure the first thing on his mind when he got the injury was, my career is going to be over. What am I going to do? I'm a professional bodybuilder. My career is over. And the next thing is, well, fuck, am I ever going to have full function of that? I think it was his arm. It was in his neck, but, of course, these nerves affect other places in your body despite, your neck being injured. And I'm sure it was a scary time for him. I tore my rotator cuff, and I remember the doctor sitting there, which is not the same thing as what happened to Dennis, because he had surgery, and it was fucking much, much more fucking, it was much worse than what happened to me. But when the doctor told me that, well, we don't know if you're ever going to be able to really train again, and we don't even know if you're going to have a full range of motion, if you'll be able to take a fucking can off a shelf in your kitchen. Like, they told me that. They're like, we're going to have to feel it out and see it as it develops, and as you heal up, we will have to progress and see what we can do with physical therapy and all this shit. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, wow, my life could kind of be over as I know it. Since I was 15, I've been in the gym training, trying to get bigger, trying to get stronger. And now I had signed with 5% and had my first event with them, and I'm like, all this could be going away because I can't be me. And then I was in the gym training legs, and I was like, what if I can never train again upper body? What if it's just like you can't because the fucking rotator cuff is destroyed, and without surgery you're going to tear it, and what if there's, I hadn't had the MRI yet. I'm like, what if there's bone fucking problems in there, like, because it does click and shit. I'm like, oh fuck, like what, that runs through your head. Now, all that shit ran through Dennis's head too, but he elected to have the surgery, which apparently fixed the injury. Now, I honestly don't believe that there was enough time for Dennis to rebuild that muscle again. I mean, he did a good job, don't get me wrong. Like, he looked fucking 10 times better than I thought he was going to, and I'm super happy for him for that. I mean, I just literally, when he started hitting his poses, I was like, okay, there's a good possibility with another year of training and an off season, and he can get back to where he was and be super competitive up there in the Olympia and the Arnold, all those contests. Is it possible that he may not because he may get injured? Who the fuck knows? But that's in the future. We can't control the future. We don't know what's happening. But for the meantime, his legs seem to have kept their size, kept their conditioning. And I don't really know for a fact, but of course the nerves going to your legs are not the same thing that's going to your upper body, which is what, he hurt in his neck. So it's possible that those nerves are not firing fully yet in his upper body to where he can contract the muscles, to where, he can get the full stimulation out of them. We've seen people like Scott Steiner, who has atrophy in the middle of his chest. It looks like there's a big fucking hole in his chest right here, which is actually due to nerve damage from back surgeries that he had and back problems. And we've seen Lee Priest have the atrophy in his left arm, I believe it is, from a certain injury in his neck, a car accident. So when the nerves don't fire, the muscle can't contract fully and properly, and therefore it can't be stimulated fully. So did Dennis walk into this contest without, full nerve regeneration? Absolutely. Is it going to get better in the future? Absolutely. Is he going to be able to be the Dennis Wolf of old? We don't know, but we're hoping. I hope for him, for his sake. He's a nice guy. I've met him several times. Super outgoing, very nice guy. Happened to be a bodybuilder, and I'm sitting there going like, it's these guys, these nice guys with these struggles. You watch them. Not that anybody should struggle or you wish struggle on anybody, but these super nice guys that are always nice to everybody and always have a smile on their face and they're uplifting. And you see them go through something like this and come out the other side. It's fucking inspiring. You know what I mean? It's absolutely inspiring to see some shit like that. So, it's my personal feeling, and I haven't talked to anybody in his camp. I don't really know them, but I do believe that he'll be able to be full force. I believe that this was the first step towards getting his physique back, but also getting his confidence back. You got to look at his point of view where he's a top bodybuilder in the world. You know what I mean? And when you can't get your body to respond, when it's always responded in the past and you never had to really think about it, you can go in the gym and train. He hired, coaches and stuff to put him through the workouts. Right now, he's at the mercy of his fucking nerve regeneration. Like, it's not about just going in the gym and training. So his whole life is, kind of different, and mentally that has to be hard on him. So for him to get in the gym, produce the physique that he did is nothing short of amazing. I'm super proud of him. I think it's awesome. And I think that, there really isn't anybody out there bashing him. I think I heard some people go, oh, well, he sucks now. And I'm like, do you have any fucking clue? Which is what led to this video. I'm like, do you have any fucking clue what he's going through and what happened? Like, probably not. They just see the end result and they don't think about the other things that are going on behind the scenes that produce that physique that you're seeing. And it wasn't his fault. It's not that he didn't train hard enough. It's not that he didn't diet hard enough. It's that he didn't fucking push himself hard enough. It's that he's coming back from an injury that could have put most people out permanently, and he's not. You know what I mean? He's dug in, he's dug his heels in, and he's fucking moving forward. And he's trying to do what he has to do to make sure that he gets to be back on top where he belongs. So hopefully you guys will support it and follow his journey. Keep an eye on him, because I promise you guys, when some shit like that finally happens to you and you're sitting there and you're trying to figure out what your next move is, people like Dennis, people like Lee Priest, the people that have been through it before, Ronnie Coleman with the surgeries and the injuries, you know what I mean? Like Jay Cutler with the bicep tear, like a lot of people tear their biceps. I'm using Jay for an example because, when they've gone through it, you can look to them for answers and follow them and see how they recuperate, how they handle it, how they push themselves, how they change, how they, evolve into the next thing that they're going to be. And that is something that we can all learn from, and something that we should actually be thankful for Dennis sharing with us, because it'll give us a leg up when something like that happens. So can't wait to see him at his next show. I know he just done at the Arnold Australia. Don't know the plans of, as of now, is what's next, but I'm confident with a full year of back in the gym of training, injury-free, regeneration of that nerve that he had the problem with, I feel like he could be back to his best. Could he be better than ever? Nobody knows if they can be better until they're better, but I feel like he could be back to his best by next year. BioStrengthTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostrength.com is a blog. It's a fucking injured bicep. Well, it's not really injured, but injury bicep, and we are out.